Hello friends, good afternoon. Am I audible and visible? Yes friends, good afternoon. Somebody please ping me if I'm audible and visible so that I can begin with today's session. And I'm sorry, the session got a bit delayed today. Don't worry, the session won't be much lengthier. It's just a 25 to 30 minute session maximum. And day after tomorrow's session, that is on Monday, we are going to speak about Jallaludin Khilji, one of the greatest rulers, not only of Khilji dynasty, but also of what we say, the entire Delhi Sultanate. So therein, when we'll study about Jallaludin Khilji, that session would be a bit lengthier. That would be approximately 1 to 1 hour 15 minutes or 1 hour 20 minutes. Today, we are going to go for an introduction of the Khilji dynasty, and we'll understand about one of its important rulers whose name was Jallaludin Khilji. Okay? So guys, without wasting any more time, let's begin with our today's session on Khilji dynasty. So, before I start with Khilji dynasty, let me introduce myself. My name is Alok Ojha. Welcome to studyIQ IAS English. Previous to this, I have covered Ancient Indian History series, wherein I have tried to cover the important topics. I have also covered the marathon session on Ancient Indian History. Apart from this, I have covered different chapters of modern Indian history. Now the question arises, so where to download the PDF of these sessions from? One can download the PDF of these sessions from my Telegram channel, history_Alok Ojha. Okay? Yes, Rishi Pandey, good afternoon. Now, before I begin with the Khilji dynasty, let me give you a brief introduction of the previous, sessions. Okay, we'll revise this session within just 2 minutes. So, it would be quite easier for the aspirants who are new to the platform to calling the different factors. Okay, just give me a second. I'm just writing the names of the important rulers. A quick revision of just 2 to 3 minutes so that you can easily calling different things. Now, we have studied about the slave dynasty. So, Qutbuddin Aibak was the founder of slave dynasty. He is credited with the foundation of Quwat-ul-Islam Mosque, Adhai Din Ka Jhopra located in Ajmer. Apart from that, it is also believed that he initiated the construction of Qutub Minar. He was being succeeded by his son whose name was Aram Shah. But Aram Shah was not that competent ruler. Aram Shah was being replaced by a slave as well as son-in-law of Aibak whose name was Shamsuddin Iltutmish. Iltutmish, he tried to control the Mongols. He saved India from the wrath of Mongols. Iltutmish is known for two major systems. One system is referred as Iqta system and the second system is referred as Chahal-Gani system. And these system we have seen in quite depth and detail. Iqta means giving a piece of land in lieu of salary, whereas Chahal-Gani means appointing 40 powerful nobles who will assist the king in performance of his duties. Iltutmish did not consider any of his sons worthy to become sultan. So he appointed Razia as his successor. Now Razia, it is believed that she killed Ruknuddin Firoz Shah, one of his brothers, and acquired the throne of Delhi Sultanate, particularly the slave dynasty. Razia started appointing non-Turkish into the service of Delhi Sultanate or particularly slave dynasty. And hence, she started developing animosity with the Turkish nobles. And finally, Razia Sultana was also being killed. The historians have dissenting opinions like where is the tomb of Razia Sultana located. Many historians believe that the tomb of Razia Sultana is located at Kaithal in Haryana. On the other hand, some historians do believe that the tomb of Razia Sultana is located particularly at Turkman Gate, Bhojli Pahadi, Delhi. Razia Sultana was later on succeeded by many weak rulers. And one of the most powerful rulers, who is considered also as one of the most powerful last rulers of Delhi Sultanate, was Balban. Balban, he abolished the Turkane-Chahalgani system initiated by Iltutmish. Balban is quite famously known for his policy of blood and iron, which in the coming years was being followed by Alauddin Khilji, the Khilji dynasty ruler. Apart from this, Balban, he started Sajda and Paibos system. Sajda basically means prostration, whereas Paibos basically means kissing the Sultan's feet. He started a Persian festival, that is Navroz festival. Balban, apart from this, it is believed that he organized the army and started a new, what we say, department referred as Diwan-e-Arz department under a minister referred as Arz-e-Mumalik. Arz-e-Mumalik is not the name of a person. Okay? I repeat, it's not the name of a person, it's a name of a designation. The head of the military department was referred as Arz-e-Mumalik. Okay? So this is majorly about Balban. And we have studied about Balban in quite depth and detail. After Balban, Balban had chosen one of the rulers like Muhammad. Balban had two sons who were worthy of the throne. One was Bughra Khan, other was Muhammad. So Muhammad got killed during a skirmish between the Mongols and the Delhi Sultanate. So what happened? Balban chose one of the sons of Muhammad Khan, but he did not become the successor. Who became the successor? Son of Bughra Khan, whose name was Kaikubad. Kaikubad was succeeded by his son, whose name was Kaimur. And finally, we have studied about this. Kaimur had a military commander whose name was Firoz. And Firoz killed his own master Kaimur, and this led to the dynastic revolution, and then comes up the new dynasty in the form of Khilji dynasty. And the founder of Khilji dynasty was Jallaludin Khilji or Firoz. Okay? Yes, Salman, we'll study about what we say, the entire Alauddin Khilji on Monday particularly. So therein we'll study about how the South Indian expeditions of Alauddin Khilji was undertaken by Malik Kafur, also referred as Manikya. So therein we'll study about what we say Devagiri, Warangal, Dwar Samudra, Pandyas and so on. So don't worry about this, Salman ji. Okay. Now, let's begin with Jallaludin Khilji. Now, let's understand about Jallaludin Khilji. Now, when Jallaludin Khilji, he became the Sultan, or when he sat on the throne of Sultan, he was approximately 70 years. Okay. And at this particular tender age, he was completely war-weary. He was tired of fighting battles. And hence, many historians believe that, like particularly, he adopted lenient attitudes in many cases, which was actually not liked by different nobles. Now, many believe that the Khiljis actually come from Central Asia, and they migrated from Central Asia to the region of Afghanistan. After some time, they started working as a slave for the slave dynasty rulers. One of the finest example is Kaikubad. Okay. Now, personally saying, like during the time of Kaikubad, Jallaludin Khilji, he was given the title of Shaist Khan. Okay, because he was quite loyal. Initially, he was Sare Jandar. Sare Jandar basically means head of the royal bodyguards. Now, what happened? When he became the Sultan at the age of 70, he had a very lenient attitude. Like, I'll give you a small example. Even for the biggest crime committed by anybody, he did not give any sort of harsh punishments. In fact, he used to directly forgive them. I'll give you a very small example. In the region around Delhi, there were a band of plunderers. And one fine day, these thugs or band of plunderers were being caught. Rather than giving harsh punishments to these people, in fact, many historians believe that they were being left by just giving a small lecture on the sins of stealing by Jallaludin Khilji. So this was the belief of many historians. Another like story narrates that there were many people, particularly who were also involved in robbery. They were being caught. They were set sail to Bengal. They were like taken to Bengal, and when they were taken to Bengal, they were set free. So particularly this person did not get involved in harsh sort of punishments, but this was mistakenly taken in a wrong manner by the nobles. Somebody's leniency cannot be taken as a wrong attitude. And in the coming years, this was being proven by Jallaludin Khilji. Now, during the time of Jallaludin Khilji, there was an attack from the region of Mongols. Or there was an attack from the Mongol side, particularly from the northwestern part of India. And the attack of Mongols was being led by Abdullah. In that case, Jallaludin Khilji was being assisted by his nephew Alauddin Khilji. And the Mongols under Abdullah, they were being defeated. And particularly when they were being defeated, at this particular point of time, there were many Mongols who went back. And there were many Mongols who stayed back in the region around Delhi. And such Mongols who stayed back in the region around Delhi were referred as New Musalman. And particularly, it is also believed that Jallaludin Khilji in fact married one of his daughters to this person. So what happened to Abdullah? So what happened? Actually, these people were against the Mongols. And when Jallaludin Khilji is marrying one of his daughters to Abdullah, that is the Mongol ruler, this actually infuriated his nobles. That these Mongols are continuously trying to attack us. And the Mongols have attacked at that time on more than 29 occasions. This is just one occasion that I have depicted here. Okay. So this was an attitude that was being adopted by Jallaludin Khilji. In fact, as I have told you, Balban, when he came to power, he immediately abolished Turkane-Chahalgani system. Many nobles of the Chahalgani system, that is 40 powerful nobles, many nobles were being beheaded, particularly who were loyal towards Iltutmish. There were certain nobles who were also loyal to Balban. And such nobles were also prevalent in the court of Jallaludin Khilji. One such noble was Malik Chhajju. Malik Chhajju, he was governor of Kara. What happened? He belonged to the lineage of Balban, but still his position was not altered by Jallaludin Khilji. But Malik Chhajju revolted against Jallaludin Khilji. He was being defeated, but still he was restored to the same position. That was the attitude of Jallaludin Khilji. Okay, so Jallaludin Khilji did not use to give any sort of harsh punishments. Jallaludin Khilji had one of his nephew, and he was also son-in-law of Jallaludin Khilji, who was the most powerful ruler. His name was Ali Gurshap or Alauddin Khilji. Now, Alauddin Khilji, initially he was the governor of Manikpur, which is particularly located near Prayagraj or Allahabad. Now, as I have told you, Jallaludin Khilji, when he sat on the throne, he was approximately around 70 years of age. He did not had any aspirations to expand his kingdom. He did not had any aspirations to follow the policy of imperialism. But his son-in-law, whose name was Alauddin Khilji, now it is also believed that Malika-e-Jahan, one of the daughters of Jallaludin Khilji, was married to Alauddin Khilji. And in that case, just a second. And in that case, it is believed that when Malika-e-Jahan was married to Alauddin Khilji, this person, Jallaludin Khilji, had a deep trust in Alauddin Khilji. So, apart from the region of Manikpur, the region of Kara was also given to Alauddin Khilji. And Alauddin Khilji was a very ambitious ruler. How do we come to know about this? It is believed that we find the mention of Alauddin Khilji in a book called as Padmavat, which was written by Malik Muhammad Jayasi. The book Padmavat not only narrates the story of Raja Rawal Ratan Singh and Rani Padmini, it also narrates the exploitation that has been done by Alauddin Khilji. And this book particularly was written by Malik Muhammad Jayasi during the Sur Dynasty period. And this book Padmavat is written in Awadhi language. I repeat, Awadhi language, which is prevalent particularly in Purvanchal. So we come to know about Alauddin Khilji from there, that he was a tyrant. He was an imperialist, unlike his father-in-law Jallaludin. So what happened? This person, Alauddin, suggested his father-in-law, whose name was Jallaludin Khilji, that we should now lead an expedition towards south. And we should conquer the region of Bhilsa. And Bhilsa is particularly present-day Vidisha or Besnagar. Why? Because the region of Bhilsa, it had a lot of wealth. As I have told you, why do the rulers majorly focus on those regions which has a lot of wealth? Because for running the administration, the most crucial point is wealth. Correct? We have seen that in ancient India. We have seen the invasion of Delhi Sultanate. Why was Ghazni attracted towards India? Wealth. Ghori, wealth. Why was Babur attracted towards India? We'll study about Babur when we'll study about the Mughal Empire. Like many historians do believe that, particularly Babur was being invited by Alam Khan Lodi. He was being invited by Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab. But one of the prime reasons why this person was attracted towards India, because of the vast resources of the region of Punjab. Babur, since his childhood, had heard about the stories of Timur. He had heard about the Delhi massacre of 1398, which Timur had done against the Tughlaq and looted a vast amount of booty. Hence, Babur attacked India. So the basic crux here was every other ruler was attacking the other region primarily for the wealth. And Alauddin Khilji now suggested his uncle, whose name was Jallaludin Khilji, to attack the region of Bhilsa or Vidisha because it had vast resources. Jallaludin Khilji dispatched unit of the army against the Vidisha. And this entire region was being conquered. In fact, apart from being the governor of Kara and Manikpur, Alauddin Khilji in the coming years was given the governorship of the region Bhilsa. That is Vidisha or Besnagar. Alauddin Khilji went back to Kara or Manikpur. As I have told you, Jallaludin Khilji's leniency was taken very lightly by the people. And one such person who took the leniency of Jallaludin Khilji quite lightly was Siddhi Maula. Now what happened? Siddhi Maula, he was one of the noblemen of Jallaludin Khilji. And Siddhi Maula knew one thing, that even if I commit any cruel thing, this person Jallaludin Khilji will forgive me. So with the passage of time, Siddhi Maula started developing good relations with a Sufi saint whose name was Baba Fariduddin Pak Patan. Simple words, Baba Farid. Okay. So now he used to give all sorts of liberal donation to Baba Farid, who this nobleman Siddhi Maula. And Jallaludin Khilji came to know about this. But Jallaludin Khilji did not interfere because giving liberal donations was also the part of the activities or charitable activities that was done by Jallaludin himself. So initially he did not interfere. But when Jallaludin came to know that his nobleman Siddhi Maula is trying to make a plot wherein the Sultan, he would be dethroned, so he called Siddhi Maula in the court and asked him, "What is your plot? Please tell." Siddhi Maula, rather than apologizing for what he had done, what did he do? He started arguing with Jallaludin. And this argument infuriated or annoyed Jallaludin, because Siddhi Maula thought that he won't be getting any cruel punishment. He would be forgiven by Jallaludin. But Jallaludin, this time, he wanted to create an example, an illustration for the further coming betrayals. What did he do? He crushed this person, Siddhi Maula, with the help of an elephant. So in the coming years, nobody else dared to go against Jallaludin Khilji. So nobody took his, attitude leniently now. Correct? But Alauddin Khilji had a very different plan in his mind. And Alauddin Khilji was eyeing the throne of Khilji dynasty. He was eyeing the throne particularly of Delhi Sultanate, and he was completely opposite to Jallaludin Khilji. As I told you, if Jallaludin Khilji is east, Alauddin Khilji is west. How? Alauddin Khilji followed the policy of blood and iron, and that was the same policy that was being followed by the slave dynasty ruler Balban. On the other hand, Jallaludin followed a very lenient attitude. Now, what happened further? Let's understand. Yes, Mangesh, hi. Jallaludin Khilji was being murdered by his own, what we say son-in-law, whose name was Alauddin Khilji or Ali Gurshab. Now, what was the plot behind this? Now, let's understand. As I have told you, Alauddin Khilji had attacked the region of Bhilsa or Vidisha, and that was a successful expedition. But this time, Alauddin, he had a plan to conquer the region of Devgiri, which was being ruled by Yadavas. And at that time, the ruler of Devgiri was Ramchandra Dev or Ramchandra Yadav. And what happened? This person, Jallaludin Khilji, he suggested him that, he suggested to Jallaludin Khilji that we should conquer this region because this region has lots of wealth. It has lots of gold here. So in that case, we should attack the region of Devgiri. So in that case, initially he refused, but after some time, Alauddin Khilji was not dispatched to conquer the region of Devgiri. Two other governors were dispatched to conquer the region of Devgiri, and all these governors were unsuccessful. Finally, what happened? Pay attention carefully. Alauddin Khilji, he went to the region of Devgiri, plundered the region of Devgiri, and after plundering the region of Devgiri, rather than coming back to Delhi, he directly went to Kara and Manikpur. This actually infuriated Jallaludin Khilji now. How? First of all, before leading any expedition, you should take the permission from the Sultan. Even if you're not taking any permission of the Sultan, it is your prime responsibility to first report to the Sultan. Rather than reporting to the Sultan, you directly went to Kara or Manikpur. And this was seen by many nobles as an opportunity to create a suspicion in the mind of Jallaludin Khilji against Alauddin Khilji. And some of the nobles said to Jallaludin, in fact, your nephew has an intention to acquire the throne of Khilji dynasty. Hence, he did not take permission from you. But after some time, this person, Jallaludin Khilji, he forgave Alauddin Khilji. Why? Because he was his son-in-law. He has given his daughter, he has given his daughter, Mallika-e-Jahan, to Alauddin Khilji in marriage. Now what happened? This person, Jallaludin Khilji, he personally decided that I will go to Kara and Manikpur. Please listen to the plot, very interesting plot that was being played by Alauddin Khilji. So he went to Kara and Manikpur, and now this person, Jallaludin Khilji, decides that I will personally go to meet my daughter. I'll personally go to meet my son-in-law, Alauddin Khilji. And in that case, whenever this person, he moved on with a small army of 1,000 to 1,500 soldiers. Now, before reaching Kara, one has to cross the river Ganga twice. So as soon as he reached on the banks of river Ganga, Jallaludin Khilji was being received by one of the brothers of Alauddin Khilji. Again, this person got infuriated. Why? Jallaludin Khilji again got infuriated. First of all, you did not take any permission to attack on Devgiri. You attacked on Devgiri. Rather than reporting back to Delhi, or rather than reporting back to the Sultan, you directly came to Manikpur. Still, I forgive you. And when you are knowing this thing, that Sultan is coming to meet you in Kara, like you should come here to welcome the Sultan, you have sent your brother. But there was a different plot that was going in the mind of Alauddin Khilji in Kara. So the brother of Alauddin Khilji said that since Sultan is visiting the region of Kara, Alauddin Khilji is quite busy. Why? To welcome the Sultan. He's busy in all sorts of preparation. Jallaludin Khilji became happy again. Secondly, you are going to meet your daughter. You're going to meet your son-in-law. Why it is necessary to carry 1,000 soldiers along with you? Just have 10 to 15 loyal soldiers along with you. That's it. Jallaludin thought, yes, it's a good thing. Jallaludin now reached Kara. As soon as Jallaludin now reached Kara, Alauddin Khilji saw him. And when Alauddin Khilji saw him, he did sajda, that is prostration. And when he did sajda, this person, now he was going to do paibos. Paibos means kneel down on his knees. Immediately, this person, Jallaludin, caught him by his arms and picked him up and hugged him. And as he hugged him, what happened? Immediately through his eye movement, Alauddin Khilji asked one of his soldiers to give a blow of sword. A blow of sword was given to Jallaludin Khilji, who was approximately 75 years of age at that time, 74 to 75 years of age. It took hardly few seconds to understand that there is a plot of his murder. Jallaludin Khilji knew about this. And when Jallaludin Khilji came to know about this, Jallaludin Khilji started yelling and shouting to those 10 to 15 soldiers who had accompanied him. But these 10 to 15 soldiers had already been killed by the soldiers of Alauddin Khilji outside. And as soon as this person started running, his head was being blown. His head was being cut or beheaded by Alauddin Khilji. Immediately, his head was taken into a spear and moved through the region of Awadh, Kara and Manikpur. This was a message that was being given by Alauddin Khilji to the governors, that I did not spare my father-in-law for any mistakes that he had committed. He did not commit any mistake, but still I did not spare him. You dare revolt against me. That was a message given by Alauddin Khilji to the governors of the distant provinces. And Ali Gurshap or Alauddin Khilji now sat on the throne of Khilji dynasty, considered as one of the most cruel rulers of Khilji dynasty. He captured almost a major part of northern India. He captured the region of Malwa. He captured the region of Gujarat. He defeated Hamir Dev, the ruler of Ranthambore, one of the most powerful Rajput rulers. He captured the region of Chittorgarh by treacherously defeating Raja Raval Ratan Singh Ji. Why? And why did he attack Chittorgarh? Because he coveted upon Rani Padmini and he wanted to marry her. And the entire episode has been mentioned in a book called as Padmavat, written by Malik Muhammad Jaisi in Awadhi language. In fact, it is also believed that mass massacre was done in Chittorgarh by Alauddin Khilji. During the medieval period, Chittorgarh was renamed as Khizirabad because one of the sons of Alauddin Khilji was made the governor of Chittorgarh, whose name was Khizir Khan, hence the name Khizirabad. So this person, he was a mass massacrer. And Alauddin Khilji, he sat on the throne of Delhi Sultanate now. This was the end of Jallaludin Khilji. Hope you understood, guys. Any question, any query, any doubt? So in this plot, entirely, Alauddin Khilji played a very crucial role in dethroning his own father-in-law. As I have told you previously, Monday's session would be very important because I am going to speak on different aspects of Alauddin Khilji. Like how Alauddin Khilji came to the throne, first thing. Now, Alauddin Khilji knew one thing, that nobles, when they become powerful, they start dictating terms and conditions to the Sultan. And in fact, his own position is not safe. So which policy of Balban was again reversed or brought back? Apart from this, how did Alauddin Khilji lead all his North Indian expeditions? How did Alauddin Khilji chose Malik Kafur and Inanch particularly to lead the expeditions of South India? What military reforms were being brought by Alauddin Khilji? What is Dag and Chehra system? What were the different market reforms that was being undertaken by Alauddin Khilji? All these things we are going to discuss on Monday. So Monday's session is very important. Again, I'll repeat the points. For the aspirants, those who are new to the platform, I have already covered certain parts of medieval India. One can download the PPT or the PDF from my Telegram channel, history_Alok Ojha. Okay, I'll write it here. History_Alok Ojha. So, before I end, yes, Azian, you have a question. Azlan, you have a question. How did he defeat the Mongols? Now pay attention carefully. As I've told you, Jallaludin Khilji, he was a very experienced personality. How he was an experienced personality? Because initially he was serving as a slave to the different rulers of the slave dynasty, particularly Kaikubad and Kaimur. Okay. So what happened at this point of time? As I've told you previously, that particularly this person, Alauddin Khilji, who was a nephew of Jallaludin Khilji, was expert in all sorts of warfare skill. In fact, prior to this, in yesterday or day before yesterday's session, I've also talked about Alauddin Khilji and the Mongols, that everyone feared of Mongols except Alauddin Khilji. And in fact, Mongols feared Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji had cut the head of 8,000 Mongols and laid the foundation of a fort referred as Siri Fort, which is located near Delhi. So it was a strategic advancements of Alauddin Khilji and Jallaludin Khilji that actually defeated the Mongols. Apart from this, there were many Mongol, what we say, soldiers who deserted the army of Abdullah and came to the side of Alauddin Khilji and Jallaludin Khilji. In this manner, Abdullah was being defeated. And to finally strengthen the relations between the Mongols and the Khiljis, this person, Jallaludin Khilji, married one of his daughters to Abdullah, the ruler of Mongols. And this actually infuriated what? The other nobles. Apart from this, there were many Mongols. After this, they settled in India itself and they were referred as New Musalmans. Hope so the point is clear. Desertion is one of the reasons for defeat of Mongols and victory of Jallaludin and Alauddin. Hope the point is clear, Azian. You have asked a question? Okay. Now, let's talk about the resolution batch, morning batch 2026. Okay. It is a GS Foundation batch, P2I, Prelims to interview. Here, the entire preparation would be done right from the basics, the NCERT, Tamil Nadu State Board books and so on. Then we'll go to the higher level of the reference books. Correct? Again, the most important aspect of this part is answer writing practice, wherein personally I would be giving you certain questions which are PYQs and which are analytical in nature. Okay. Like I'll give you questions which are quite analytical. A small example that I'll give you. There's a historian referred as Dr. K. Lal, whose sentence was Jallaludin Khilji was a failure of the he was a failed administrator, but he was a true gentleman. Elaborate. So here we have to highlight the points which actually supports this, that I've told you, that he'd adopted a lenient attitude towards his nobles and so on. Correct? So these analytical questions I would be giving you on daily basis as a part of answer writing. Immediately after the session, you can evaluate the answers by sending me the PDF, and once I get free, I'll give you the review of the answers that have been written. So proper answer writing would be done as a part of resolution morning batch. And the offer is just valid till 23rd of June 2025. Hardly 2 days left. Initially, the fees was 30,999. As a part of the offer, if you enroll using my code ALOKLIVE, which is also flashing on your screen right now, you can get the benefits and get the course at the rate of 25,000 just. So with this, I stop my today's session. Hope the session was interesting and you got to learn something new. Okay, as I've told you, Monday session would be important, where we are going to study the different terminologies. I stop my words for the day. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.